Hello and welcome to the Sam Hossack Media Podcast, our first episode. Our first guest is the general manager of the Brock University Badgers hockey team, a veteran GMHL player who is currently the co-host of the Showbound podcast and is often choked for having the worst hair on the show by co-host Ethan Cardwell. Join me in welcoming to the show Michael Raskin.
I almost started laughing in the intro there. Even just hearing GMHL veteran was pretty funny for me. I don't even know if I could say that about myself, but happy to be on, Sam, and you're looking good, and congrats to you and your fiance on the engagement, man.
Thanks, buddy. I appreciate that. We'll get right into things here. Back in your minor midget days from doing some digging, you suffered concussion. So just talk a little bit about that and where your hockey career kind of went from there.
Yeah, I mean it was a tough one. Just it was a pretty bad concussion that put me out for this season, and it's one of those things where you kind of just realize like maybe I gotta like put the dream aside and focus on my health or focus on school and stuff. And I wasn't even really pursuing hockey as a career, but I did want to play at the highest level. And at that point, it was like, all right, let's maybe go down, play some non-contact hockey with the buddies for a bit, and have some fun that way, which was a really good time. And but you start to miss the game, you start to miss that competitive feeling. So that's why I ended up coming back and playing a couple of years in the GMHL there. Just wanted to get back into, in the dressing room and the competitive environment. It was a lot of fun. So, I mean, yeah, the concussion was a bit of a struggle for me mentally and physically. And it was a lot of learning experiences. And, I hope nobody has to go through that. And it's actually something I've become pretty interested in researching and asking questions about. And there's just so many unknowns about concussions still and how to treat them. And it's pretty fascinating stuff. But yeah, it was a battle back then, but it is what it is. And it's kind of led me to where I am now. So I wouldn't want to change it.
Absolutely. And obviously, after you attended Brock University, where you became the general manager of the Brock University Badgers hockey team. So just talk a little bit about that, how that came up as a student at the university.
Yeah, that's been the most fun. That job's been the most fun I've ever had in hockey, both playing and working. It really started, I guess, in my grade 12 year of high school. I was scouting for the Niagara Ice Dogs, and really got to know the city and the community there. And Marty Williamson was the head coach and GM of the Ice Dogs at that point. And then he ended up getting the head coaching job at Brock and told me, like, why don't you come? Like, he knew I was there. He said, why don't you come be the general manager with me? We can rebuild this team. It was kind of struggling at that point. And in that first year of us together, we actually went to the national championship from finishing in the last playoff spot the year before. So it was pretty cool. And yeah, that job's a lot of fun. Brock hockey is among the best in all of U Sports. If as a player there, we have a brand new big rink coming on campus for next year. It's a good time to be in this role. And I love the team and I love the city. Honestly, everything about the Niagara region's fantastic. So it's been a lot of fun.
Absolutely. And you had kind of a health scare in Niagara a little bit with heart condition with the Niagara Whalers. So just touch on that a little bit, and that kind of cut your season short.
Yeah, it was pretty weird and pretty random. I suddenly was diagnosed with a heart disease called pericarditis, which kind of came out of nowhere. It's like a 1 in 100 million thing. Just super unlucky, and kind of had to stop with all the hockey, working out, like drinking coffee, really anything that would raise my heart rate for a while there. I'm all good now, all 100%, but it was a battle. Even just, missing some Brock hockey games as well, having to sit at home was pretty bad, and didn't enjoy it. It was a hard time for me, kind of just sitting in bed, watching all the games on my laptop, seeing my teammates scoring goals and wishing I could be there. But it's one of those things you go through and you kind of learn a lot about yourself and you grow as an individual and learn how to be independent. And it's just another one of those things that I wouldn't change because it kind of has grown me into the person I am now. And yeah, it was a battle. It was a little scary for a bit too, but that's kind of how that went down. And, obviously I'm good now and I'm really thankful for that. And it's kind of opened my eyes to, you got to live life to the fullest and just enjoy everything you're doing. So always happy now and always enjoying whatever it is that I'm up to.
Now we'll get into where we met. You were working with the Barrie Colts last year as their media guy, so just kind of touch on that a little bit and how you got that position with the Colts.
Yeah, that was really fun as well. I loved Barrie, and we had such a great group of guys there last year. To answer the second part of that question, how I got the job was same thing as really how I got the job with Brock. Marty Williamson ended up getting the Colts job as the uh, advisor. I don't know what his exact title is, but special advisor to the general manager, I think. And um, we talked about it with Howie Campbell, the president and owner there, about taking on a role for me there. So it ended up working, and I went over there, moved to Barrie. Had a lot of fun. Honestly, it was a really good season, and like I said, just a sweet group of guys. Met a lot of good people. Obviously, met you there. Um, Enjoyed it a lot. I liked being on the road. Liked all the memories we made, and yeah, it was a lot of fun. I like Barrie. It was a good city too. So too bad I can't go catch any games right now. Hopefully the season starts up so I can see the boys again at some point. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, and one of the guys that was there when you were there was Ethan Cardwell, who is the other co-host of the Showbound podcast. So just get into that a little bit. Meeting Cardsy, he's a great guy, good buddy of mine as well. So how did the whole Showbound thing come about, and how's it going for you guys?
Yeah, Cardsy's the man. Actually, as I say this morning, he just got a hat trick. He's playing out in Sweden right now. He had 3 goals in a 5-point game out there in Sweden. So good for him. Shout out Cardsy. But yeah, I mean, I didn't have a lot of time with Cardsy because he came to Barrie at the trade deadline. I can't remember when that was, maybe late January. So, and then the season ended like first week of March. So really there was only a month-ish of us being together. And I feel like we hit it off that month, really enjoyed getting to know each other. And he's a very smart guy, obviously a good hockey player, but a little bit of a businessman off the ice. And definitely appreciated my time getting to know him. And it kind of started the Showbound podcast really with us being bored in quarantine. And I just texted him. I was like, you want to start a hockey podcast? And immediately he was just like, call me. And we called, we talked about it. And then probably 5 days later, we had our first episode out. It wasn't even, the name came right away. There wasn't a lot of planning. It just kind of happened. Obviously he has a lot of friends in the OHL and the NHL. So it's been easy getting guests that way. And the podcast's been going well. Really right after the second or third episode, we became top 5 in the country for hockey podcasts, and then top 3. So it was some early success, and it's only been growing from there. And yeah, it's been something I really enjoy, getting me through these times at home now, especially make a little pocket change too on the side as it never hurts. So it's definitely been a lot of fun.
Absolutely, and it's great to see that Cardsy is doing so well over there. Actually, looking at his Snapchat story today, it looked like Jack Thompson gets a nice sleep in the closet. It looked like that. I'm not sure if you had seen that, but
I'll pull it up right. I don't know if I've seen it.
yeah, he threw that up on his story a little while ago.
Oh yeah, you know what? I'm just looking at it now. It's funny because they their living condition is a little strange. I think they only have 2 rooms and 3 people. And I know Cardsy slept on the floor one night, and obviously JT was in the closet sleeping there. I don't know what's going on with that, but yeah, no, they're having a lot of fun over there, and they're all great guys. Had them all on the podcast already and got to know them. So, I'm happy they're all finding success there, and it's good that they're getting some action and during a time where, people in Ontario here aren't playing.
Absolutely. And what is the next big thing that is coming for the Showbound podcast? Obviously, you guys are lining up guests as you can. So, who are some of the big names that are coming on shortly?
As much as I want to give away some big names, I don't think I should. We kind of like to drop them on the Instagram to get the attention going there. I don't want to tease anyone, but I'll say we have some NHL players coming on, like some current NHL players, some new guys who just made teams for the first year this year. Some World Junior guys as well are lined up, and we have a couple good guys coming as well. Some merch drops coming soon. We've had hats and toques go on sale and sell out in 2 days both times. So it's been pretty cool that people want to buy the merch. It's honestly strange just thinking people like it that much. It's really like such a big compliment that they want to support it, and we try to sell them really cheap because we don't want our listeners who support us the most to be paying out too much money. But yeah, that's it for, I guess, who's coming on. But there's some big things coming for sure. We're in talks with TSN as well about maybe doing some off ice or some on ice content stuff coming up when it's safe, which would be cool. But yeah, just a lot going on, a lot of planning, and we'll see where it goes.
For sure, and we'll get into the NHL a little bit here. It's great to see live hockey back, obviously with no fans, but it's hockey. So who's your team and who are you excited to see play most this season, and your thoughts on the Canadian division as well?
Yeah, the Leafs are my team for sure. I'm really excited about them. I think they have a good group and definitely going to need a bit of time to kind of grow into their own here. It's with no preseason games, little time to get chemistry with the new guys with a shortened camp. But the Canadian division's exciting. I think it's going to be really cool as we get into the back half of the season, see the rivalries kind of unfold a little more, intensity, the fights. There's a lot to be excited about. And yeah, I'm definitely excited for them, and watching that whole division is exciting. But I kind of cheer, other than the Leafs, I like to cheer for people who I know, I guess people who have been on the podcast. So there's a couple teams I like right now, but definitely the Leafs are my team. They always have been, and I think they have a really good team this year. So I'm excited. I'm just really excited to see how the season plays out for them.
Absolutely, and one of the segments you and Kauzi get into on the podcast is the Bachelor segment. So just talk a little bit about that and how that segment kind of came about.
Yeah, that's a fun one for sure. So, I mean, Cardsy and I have both. I only started watching The Bachelor last year, actually, and then we both were watching The Bachelor at this past year as we started the podcast. So we're like, let's talk about it. A lot of the hockey players we know also watch it, and it's kind of just fun to watch it and record right after and chat about our thoughts and maybe give some hot takes. See what happens. Get the listeners talking and interacting with us about it, but. It's been fun. I mean, this season of The Bachelor is already off to a pretty intense, crazy start. So it's fun talking about it. And I'm just glad our listeners like it, because we had asked, like, is this something we want to keep in a hockey podcast, right? But it differentiates us a bit from the other ones, and it gives another nice non-hockey topic to talk about. And we do it at the end. So if anyone doesn't want to listen, they can just turn it off there. But yeah, it's cool. I think it's fun that we get to do that, and that the listeners can maybe hear that side of us as well, that isn't just all hockey.
Absolutely, and when you guys had Blake Murray and Jack Thompson on, Matej Picard came up a little bit, so that guy has to have the worst style in the OHL for sure, eh?
It's so funny how much he gets chirped about his style. I remember even probably my first couple of days in Barrie, I might have like chirped someone about their style. I can't remember who it was, and they're just like, "Have you seen Picard?" And it was like, "Who's this Picard guy?" And I remember we actually went golfing one time, and it was a cold day. It was me, Suzuki, Tucker, and Picard, like, was the foursome. And you know, Suzuki had really good style. Tux is all right, but they're showing up looking good on the golf course, and Picard shows up in like cargo shorts and the classic Hollister sweater on a freezing day. And I don't know, we're wearing the polo shirts, the quarter zips, nice long golf pants, and I don't know. And we were at like Friday Harbor in Barrie, like a really fancy club. He's sitting there wearing like just bumming around clothes, and his suit style is not awful. I wouldn't say it's good by any means, but he gets chirped a lot for it. Sometimes it's been bad. I've seen him wearing like beige pants and a black coat, and I don't know. But yeah, no, his style needs work. We've talked about it over the year, and hopefully with his contract money, he can buy himself some nicer clothes, maybe shop somewhere other than Hollister this year.
Absolutely, and one of the guys you had on was Ryan Suzuki. So how good was it to see the success he had at the World Jays this year?
I was really happy for him. I think we kind of knew he was that fringe player. Like I was very confident he'd make the team, but there was a bit of thought in my mind, like he could be the last cut here. He's kind of on the line, and he ended up starting out as that 13th forward on the team and really proved himself every game. And honestly, by the time he got to the finals, I thought the championship game was his best game. He was really showing that he's, he belongs there and can dominate even. A lot of scoring chances. Obviously, playing with some really talented line mates helps, but I was proud of him. It's so cool to get that opportunity. And, in a time with no hockey where the whole country's watching, it was obviously a great experience for him. And I'm actually excited to talk to him soon and catch up and hear about that, because, it's such an awesome opportunity, and he's breaking out of that shell of maybe he's Nick Suzuki's brother, which I kind of chirped him about on the podcast. And, he's his own guy. He's Ryan Suzuki, and he's a fantastic player. So I'm excited for his future in the NHL. Like, honestly, he's very talented and works hard. So I'm very happy for his success.
Absolutely, and you guys have had some big names on, including Brett Walichka, who is part of that B Clutch company. Just talk about B Clutch and how sick their gear is.
I love B Clutch, and they came on as an early sponsor and believed in us for the podcast. And you're rocking the B Clutch hoodie there, and it's top of the line stuff. I mean, I'll give them a free ad here. Why not? Like, the way I see it is, they're kind of like Lululemon in the sense where they're just high end quality athletic gear, and it's just cheaper. It's not cheap at all. You're still paying good money for it, but for the quality and especially the lower price compared to Lululemon, like, I love them. I think they're fantastic, and the mission of B Clutch is really smart, and I hope they get the big break that kind of separates them and can maybe grow it a lot. I know they wanted to help grow our podcast. We want to help grow them, and it's just a good partnership to have. And Brett Walichka's a great guy. Quinn, his brother, who does all the work there, is an even better guy. Like, these guys are just, salt to the earth people, like, really humble, great guys, but well connected in the hockey community. So, I love them both and their brand.
Absolutely, yeah. I purchased a bunch of their stuff before. It's great, top quality gear, and I got something lined up in the future to actually have Quinn come on here. So hopefully that happens after their next merch drop that they're working on for next week, I believe. So make sure you check out B Clutch for sure.
Oh yeah. No, Quinn's a great guy. I wouldn't mind having him on mine. I know he was a good lacrosse player. It's something you can ask him about. I think he played in U Sports, and he's a good athlete too. So it's not all about Brett. Brett was kind of pumping his tires on our podcast, saying he's the athlete in the family. But I know I got to shout out Quinn for, he's athletic himself and a talented lacrosse player.
Yeah, and speaking of U Sports, you've spent so many years in that league. Let's get the top three U Sports arenas that you've traveled to.
Okay, so I'll say this: there's a lot out west, like in the Canada West Division, that are really nice, but I just haven't been to them, so I got to exclude them. But I know, like, UBC has a beautiful rink. I think it's like 9,000 seats or something. So there's a lot out that way. But I'd say number one that I've been to would be University of New Brunswick in Fredericton. There, we went there for the national championships, and it's like, I think, just under 4,000 seats. They got the suites. It's old. It's decorated very well with the history, and it was filled that whole tournament, like, sold out loud. So it was really fun to go there. And they did a good job hosting. So I put them as number one of the ones we've traveled to. I'd say number two, I mean, I might feel a little biased, but this new Brock rink on campus is beautiful. Like, I'd have to put that up there on the list. It is a stunning rink, brand new, and we got to design it the way we wanted to for our players. So it's pretty cool. And our own workout facility in there for the team and all that. Like, that's a good one too. I gotta say Ryerson, the Mattamy Center there, which is the old Maple Leaf Gardens, beautiful and very well lit, NHL style arena there. So yeah, those would be my top three. There's some other good rinks in the league too, and some not so good ones even. But yeah, those are gonna be my three.
Absolutely, and we'll get into Brock here for a little bit. Great school, obviously, and you guys getting your own rink now. Just talk a little bit about that and how special it is as the general manager of the team to finally have your own building and hopefully having fans back there soon.
Yeah, what's good is with Brock is it's the biggest hockey school, I think, in all of Ontario. I mean, there's no football team at Brock, which probably most schools do have. So it's all about hockey there. We have our homecoming game every year in the Meridian Center where the Ice Dogs play, and it's over 5,000 sold out, and screaming drunk students just absolutely having an amazing time singing. It's loud. It's like nothing ever. I mean, we just have the craziest fans. So to have a rink on campus, and there's 4,000 students living on campus in res. So for them, they can just walk right over, and it's free for students to come in. I think, like, what better place to go have fun with your friends on a Friday, Saturday night than hop over and see an amazing hockey team play. So it means a lot. It's going to be good for recruiting, of course. Just knowing that, you can play in that nice rink that's going to be sold out every game and have some screaming crazy fans. And I'm definitely excited for the potential that there is at that rink, and maybe even one day host a national championship at Brock would be really cool. So yeah, it's just as a manager, I guess it's the recruiting that excites me too. But obviously marketing is going to be so easy now when people can just walk to the rink.
Yeah.
Really, like, it's going to be packed every game, and I actually can't wait to have fans back in and get to enjoy that atmosphere.
Absolutely. And now, as the general manager, how special is it to kind of have an OHL team right there that you can talk to some overage guys into coming to Brock after their careers are done with the Ice Dogs?
Yeah, it's nice. It's definitely easy. I'd say over the season, I'd go and meet with every overager in the league. Really, like, it's easy whenever they come to Niagara, talk to their GM, get the approval, and meet with the overagers on the other team after the game. And obviously we've had some Ice Dogs come over as well. So that's been good. Easy that they fall in love with the community and kind of want to stay. But yeah, it's definitely easy, the access of kind of getting to all the players right there in our own city. It makes it easy for me. And sometimes we'll go travel out to meet these players or their coaches and talk to them that way, and that's always fun too. I like being on the road. But yeah, the ease of having the Ice Dogs is great, and a lot of good guys on that team that I'm hoping to land on Brock in the future.
All right, and didn't think this was actually going to happen, but we have a surprise special guest joining us here. So please welcome to the Sam Hossack Media Podcast, Ethan Cardwell. Cardsy, what's up, buddy?
Boys?
Let's go, Cards. Hey, I was hyping you up. I was talking about your 5-point game today already.
Yeah, man. Just had dinner. It was a good day. We had a good game. Me and Mur both had 5 pitters, and JT had 1 and 1, and a little scuffle too. So it was a good game for the boys. Just wanted to pop on though and say hi to all the listeners listening to this. I know Hossy's got a good thing going here, but I'm gonna let you here. I'll leave you to it, but I just wanted to say, hey, how's it going, Hossy?
Good. How about you? I see you letting Tomu sleep in the closet tonight, eh?
Yeah, Tomer's in the closet tonight. He made a deal that if he went 1 and 1, a goal and an assist, he'd sleep in the closet. So that's the situation we're at right now.
Well, happy to see you have success over there, buddy, and hope to see you soon.
Cheers, bro. Yeah, good talking to you, and Rask, we'll be in contact.
Yeah, man. See you in a bit.
Okay, see you, boys.
Alrighty. That was quite the pleasant surprise.
Yeah, I sent the link over to him, not knowing if he'd be able to join, not kind of knowing what time it is over there for him in Sweden. But yeah, happy to see he was able to hop on for a minute there.
Yeah, no, it's funny. The 3 of them living together, it's an absolute clown show. Like it is so funny. But yeah, no, it's a fun one. I don't know what kind of deal JT's setting up for himself where he gets 2 points and has to sleep in the closet, and he's a defenseman too, so a little strange, but hey, whatever works, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. So back to your Barrie days a little bit here. Who was some of the favorite guys you got to work with on that team? Obviously a star-studded team with the Colts last year, but who is some of the guys that you were excited to kind of meet at the start of the year?
Oh, that's a tough one. I mean, I didn't even know who was on the team at the beginning of the year. No, that's not true. I guess, I mean, Sam Rhodes is a guy who I had known for years since I was maybe 15. He was 13, I think. So I was excited to reconnect with him. Even when I was just talking about getting to Barrie, knowing he was there, like, we were both excited to kind of reconnect. So I was excited to see him and get to spend some time with him. Jason Wilms, I met that summer before. It's actually kind of a funny story. I was just at a bar in Guelph, and someone I was with was like, "Oh, that guy plays on Barrie," like, knowing that I was about to go to that job. I was like, "Really? Like, who is he?" And they're like, "Jason Wilms, captain of the team." I was like, "Okay." And I went up, I was like, "Are you Jason Wilms?" He's like, "Yeah." I was like, "Oh, I'm working for Barrie next year, man. Like, nice to meet you." We're like completely hammered at this bar, and next thing you know, like, he's taking selfies with me, sending it in the group chat, and like, we hit it off immediately and had a fun night there in Guelph. And then, first day of training camp when we reconnected, it was an immediate bond. So I was happy and excited to kind of have a familiar face already. But obviously a guy like Ryan Suzuki, who had just gotten drafted in the first round at that point, that was exciting. And I'd actually known him for a bit before that as well. But yeah, I mean, I was excited just to meet everybody. There was so many great guys on that team, and I'm definitely thankful for the opportunity that I had to get to know them all.
Absolutely, yeah. Wilmo's a great guy, good buddy of mine as well. Absolutely loves the ranch on Saturday nights. That's all I gotta say. And that kind of throws him
Yeah,
under the bus.
no comment on that one from me.
Yeah, Wilmo's enjoying his life out in New Brunswick right now, I think. So he's having some fun.
Yeah.
Got to play in London last year in the sickest barn in the league. So he had some fun to wrap up his OHL career. You and Cozy met at the Budweiser Gardens, so just talk about how sick of an arena that is. 9,000 seats filled every night. How special is it as a media guy or even being a player to go into a rink and play a game?
Yeah, it's always cool. Even, as someone who's not even playing, I can just get an appreciation for it. And, you walk in and like the way the bus comes in, you're kind of underground through the garage. You walk into this back loading area, and then there's like a garage door that opens into the rink. And right when that door opens up, and it's so big for an OHL rink, it always kind of blows you away. And you really feel like a pro, I guess, when you're in that rink. And it's exciting. The atmosphere there, it must be the coolest place to play. So, they do it right in London, and just every time we got to go there, I had a lot of fun. And it's a great city, obviously, and great fans. So I really enjoy playing there, or like the team playing there. I just enjoy being around that environment. It's kind of everything you want in the OHL, and always a good time and always some good battles. So yeah, I mean, what a rink. It's beautiful. That's all I really have to say about it.
Absolutely. And before we wrap up here, there's one story you had on the Showbound podcast from that arena, I believe, was Quinton Byfield and Tyler Tucker. So just talk about those guys a little bit. You had Byfield on the podcast and spent some time working with Tucker. So those two guys are phenomenal hockey players, and happy to see the success they're having for sure.
Yeah, I guess I'll start with Tux here. I really enjoyed being around him from the start. I mean, he was, I mean, it was just easier. Him being an older guy on the team, I obviously bonded more with the older guys than the younger guys. So he's hilarious. Honestly, that guy is a riot. And I love the way he plays. I'm shocked like it took him so long to get a contract. Very happy that he did. I think he has a bright career ahead of him in the NHL. Like I think he's going to make it. I'm convinced he will. And he's doing all the right things. So I'm really happy for him. And I love Tux. And, we had some fun in Barrie, and yeah, just an amazing guy. And Quinton Byfield, I don't know him too well, but, after having a long time to talk with him there on the podcast, and I met him a few times actually around. So he's a good guy. I mean, he's really nice. Another just guy who's so funny. He's always laughing and cracking people up. And I think he's going to have to really take this year to learn some lessons. He's going to be under so much media and publicity, and he's a role model. And I talked about this with him. I don't even know if he knows it yet, with like so many young hockey players looking up to him as the highest drafted Black player in NHL history, and making a name for himself at such a young age. It's a big responsibility. So I'm looking forward to see how he carries himself and learns and what he does. But, they're both great guys, and I'm excited for both their careers.
Absolutely, yeah. Tux was at the St. Louis camp this year, obviously. Hopefully he had a good camp there. I don't think he made the final roster. He might be down in the AHL, I'm not sure. And Byfield, from what I heard, he had a great camp in LA, but just wasn't able to crack the roster there. So starting the season in the AHL, he'll have a lot to learn from down there, obviously. And hopefully he does great and isn't spending too much of that entry-level contract on hut packs while he's waiting for the AHL season to start right now.
Yeah, he's going to have to be saving a bit of his money. But I think it was one of those things where like he very easily could have made the taxi squad and might get into some NHL games. But, you don't want your top prospect really riding the bus and not getting games in, where he can go in a league and play every night in the AHL and hopefully dominate at that level. So it's definitely better for his development. Obviously, was shocking to me when I heard he got cut. I think most people were a little surprised, but he has a lot of potential, obviously. I mean, going second overall, but he's a guy that I expect to see in the NHL next year, and he's going to be a really good player. He really can put the puck in there. We've all seen it in the OHL, and I think a lot of people who are forming opinions on him based on the World Juniors just they don't know what they're talking about. I mean, I've seen him play every game in the OHL for 2 years now. Like, you know, a little tournament where you're on a team full of superstars and not getting the same ice time or getting the same opportunity isn't a good way to judge him. So, yeah, he's a fantastic player. So it'll be interesting how he does in the AHL, but very excited for his first year pro here.
And talking about that entry draft a little bit, we'll get into Alexis Lafreniere and Tim Stützle a little bit. How excited are you to see those guys play? Obviously, us being in Canada, we get a little bit more of a look at Stützle being in the All-Canadian division. But Lafreniere, how excited are you to see him, first of all?
Yeah, I'm excited to see how Lafreniere does. I mean, I know it's been, I think, 2 or 3 games for the Rangers, and he doesn't have a point yet, which is fine. I mean, everyone's kind of like, when's he going to get the first goal? When's he going to, you know, it's such a big step, and some people don't realize, like, just because you go first overall doesn't mean it's going to be easy. So I'm excited to see how he does, though. I mean, if he can produce at this level, and, you know, New York's already a good team, so it's not like he's kind of stepping in and being the best player. But I'm very excited to see how a guy like him does. He's been so highly anticipated for years. And obviously Tim Stützle, you know, saw him last night against the Leafs get his first goal. And that was a very good goal. I don't know if you caught that, but, you know, he's a guy who is going to be fantastic for the league. He's already kind of a personality, which you don't see these young guys really open their mouth too much. And, you know, he's laughing and making jokes in the media. And I think he's what Ottawa needs. He's everything they need kind of to start the rebuild and really, you know, could be a leader on that team going forward. So very excited for the future of the league with these young players coming in. It's just fantastic level of players.
Absolutely. And a little bit about the World Juniors here. Trevor Zegras, let's talk about him for a little bit. Absolutely unreal tournament for the States. How excited are you to see that guy play when he gets up to the NHL level?
I'm a little surprised he didn't even make it this year, but, you know, it's hard for me to talk nicely about him because I hate him right now for ending my Canadian dream there of winning gold. But yeah, no, he was fantastic that whole tournament. I mean, yeah, he was setting all kinds of records and really dominated at that level. He really showed he's you know, the best junior hockey player in North America. And let's see how he does at the next level. And, you know, he's a guy we're going to be hearing about in the NHL for a long time coming. I've heard his teammates really like him. I've heard he's a really good guy. It's hard for me to just talk nicely about him. I'm still mad at him, but, you know, he's definitely an exciting player for the future of the NHL.
Absolutely. It's going to be exciting to see him make it one day. And if he ever hears this, you owe Raskin $500 for a bet he lost. Because
yeah, he ruined my bank account there. I forgot about that already. Thanks for putting it back in my mind.
Yeah, so hopefully Zegras can make the show and score some goals and make you some money back for that one.
Yeah, he's going to need to, or else I'm coming for him.
Absolutely. Well, Michael, it's been a pleasure as always to talk to you. Thank you for hopping on here, and a big thank you as well to Ethan Cardwell for the surprise guest drop in. So best of luck to you two in the Showbound podcast world, and nothing but success going on forward. And hopefully I can hop on sometime soon and enjoy it with the listeners.
Yeah, appreciate it, Sam. Thanks for having me on.
Thanks, buddy.